So the average person is generally out of shape. Now, I actually don't blame the average person. I wouldn't even say it's their fault. But what I will say is, it's their fucking problem. And it's their responsibility to do something about it. We can sit here and we can cry and we can blame other people, but ultimately, we're the human beings that have to walk around in these bodies. So if we're out of shape, we better fucking do something about it very, very quickly. Now, I'm going to make this video. I'm going to speak about how people got there in the first place. The reason I feel I can speak about this is because I have experienced a lot of results with clients. So I run the Gorilla Platoon. It's an online physique transformation program. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, my name's Tom Sergey. Welcome. This is essentially our bread and butter of what we do on a weekly basis. So to start off with, most motherfuckers are out of shape. Now, we'll just go deep really quick. If someone is out of shape, honestly, it's because there's something lacking within inside them and they have turned to comfort and food. Because food is fucking nice, and naughty food is even nicer, and it's made with palatability, which means you just keep eating more and you get a nice hit off it, and we've all experienced it and it's cool. But ultimately, that is what's filling a void in people's lives. And why I say it's not your fault is most likely it's something that happened during your younger youth years. We can't really control what happens in those years. We're kind of just like a blank canvas, open to whatever comes and goes. Some people are gifted with great upbringings and lots of like confidence and motivation. Parents telling them, you will be a fucking king, you will be a CEO, you will be a warrior. And those kids go on to do that. Not everyone's gifted with such like motivation. Most people are put down in the playground by their friends. Their parents are telling them to sit down and be a bitch. The teacher's telling you to sit down and be a bitch. And most people just end up being a bitch, and then they turn to comfort in other ways. And where like a good few years ago, it would have been hard to just get comfort and easy food. Like, let's be honest, like a couple of ancestors ago, they were going to fucking hunting for food. You couldn't have got fat then because you had to burn calories to go get the motherfucker. Now you can just walk to the shop and, we eat like more food than our ancestors could have ever fathomed in like a very quick succession. They'd be like, what do you mean you eat these bars that are brown and then dense with calories? What are these things you speak about? Now it's just like common knowledge. We can go and do that. So why I say it's not your fault is you can't help how you were brought up and conditioned. So ultimately, we need to find the void and where that stemmed from. Now, how you see yourself is a direct reflection of the way you put yourself out into the world from a young age and then got feedback on that. It's also how you see yourself in the way that other people perceive you and expect you to show up, because that's what breeds your identity. And your identity is like sacred to you. You don't want your identity to be challenged. So unfortunately, for good or bad, if you put yourself out into the world as this guy that's like, don't really do too much, a little bit fat, a little bit out of shape, likes a little bit of comfort, likes a little bit of drink, like people are going to expect you to be that way, and they're going to praise you when you are that way because that's what they expect. And then you're going to act that way and to support your identity. So it goes quite deep and is quite fucking heavy. But if you can like just take what I say with an open mind and try to really work with this shit, it will change your life. I know this because I do it fucking daily, and now I live a life that I want. So what we need to do is fix how you see yourself. And that is a hard thing to do because you've programmed yourself for the longest period of time. You've acted in a way for the longest period of time. You've now sown in habits that affirm that way of living. So if I'm telling you now to live a certain life that's away from that, I'm challenging your identity. I'm challenging how you should put yourself out into the world. And it will be very painful and very uncomfortable in order to change this. But it will be fucking worth it. Trust me when I say that. I've seen enough results of people to see that it's worth it and the juice is worth the squeeze. So the first thing we need to understand is we know how we've put ourselves out into the world and we know that we need to change it. The first step to doing this is I want you to do an audit of your life. I want you to sit down, view what you would do on a normal day. Try to picture watching yourself on TV, like fucking Friends or some soap opera, and you just watch yourself through the day, and you think, fucking hell, would motherfuckers watch this or what? They think this guy's having a hard time of it. But like, look at all the things you're doing and be like, that's a bad habit. Probably need to cut that out. Made a poor choice there. And start to audit what you do, because it's much easier to stop doing things than it is to start new things. It's much easier to do less than it is to do more. Obviously, we know that's human beings. So your first step will be to stop doing bad habits. Now, the moment you start to do that, that will become uncomfortable. That will be hard to do. You will not find that easy. Do not think me saying this and you just go and do it. I'm well aware it's not as simple as that. But what we need to do is progressively overload your ability to change your habits. And the way you're going to do this is you need data to put your hands on to show that you are making progress. Because just not doing habits is not, you can't put your, it's not tangible. Well, it is because you haven't done the thing, but you couldn't say on the 27th of July, I didn't fucking pull the head off it 3 times in that day. Like, you'll not remember that in a month's time. But if you make a list on your phone of everything you need to do the next day, and also make a list of things you want to avoid, and then you actually follow and execute on that. And the analogy I want to give you is, when you set the list, you're the pilot. You're directing where the future you needs to go, where the plane in the future would need to go. You're writing the flight manifestation. Because you know what the best version of you should do. Like, let's be honest, if you were to zoom out from your own day-to-day problems, you'd be like, he would do this, he would get up at this time, he'd eat this food, he'd do this amount of steps. He'd be like this to his partner. He'd be like this at work. He'd be taking on challenges. You know what the best version of you should do. Do you know how I know that? You've watched enough movies to see the character in the film literally do what I'm telling you to do actually in life right now, which is to stop doing the bad habits, come from a place of like being at the bottom, discomfort, like fucking over your life, to a point where you're climbing up. So you know what the best version of you should do. And when you write those points out there and then, you know what the best version of you should do. So what you could do the next day is blindly follow the best version of you's advice. Just blindly follow it. And dare I say it, even if it's wrong, just fucking follow it. Because what you're giving yourself there, when you tick off the I did it, on all those habits and things you should do and didn't do the things you shouldn't, you're proving to yourself that you have 24 hours worth of discipline. Brilliant. That's a starting point. That's somewhere you can start with. Because this is not going to be easy. But then again, the very first time you went in the gym and put a little bit of weight on the bar, you were fucking sore as fuck for 3 days after because you put stimulus on that was never there before. However, you went and lift the same weight 3 weeks later, you'd be like, fucking easy, Buckshee, let's go. So you need to take the same mindset and apply it to this. You're then going to repeat the same thing the next day. Follow what the best version of you should do. Tick it off, tick it off, tick it off. And slowly, day after day, and only worry about the day. Do not worry about the future. Do not worry about the fucking future. Do not even worry about the past. Just worry about what is in front of you. The only thing we have is the present. Before and after is really just a bit of a myth. So just follow what you need to do that day. And slowly, time after time after time, what you will have is days of pure data to put your hands on and be like, no, I am becoming this person. And I know this because I can put my hands on this data. Just like if you were in the gym, you'd be like, no, I am someone that can lift 30 kilo dumbbell on flat chest press for 10 reps because here's the data to prove it. But 12 weeks ago, I could only lift 20 kilos for 10 reps on this. So I'm 10 kilos stronger in 12 weeks. I can put my hands on the data. And you need to do that because what that is then going to do is going to affirm to you that you are not the old version of you. You are this new version of you that sees yourself in a better way. The next thing I want you to do, and this is the most important one, but you will not be able to do it if you just don't have a little bit of tangible data to back it up. You're basically going to visualize how you want to see yourself. Now, this may sound wishy-washy, it may sound gay, but it's only gay if you make it. It's really not. So this works in 2 areas. You can do it in the immediate short term. So I've done it before I need to give a speech. I used to be in the army, and when I would speak in front of a large group of people, I would visualize, this is how it's going to go. This is when I'm going to speak very quickly so I deliver my words effectively. This is when I'm going to slow down and pause and put a bit more emphasis on the word. This is when I'm going to butter up the audience, saying you're the best thing since sliced bread. This is when I'm going to make them feel a little bit like they need to fucking up their game. And I'm going to visualize how it's going to go. Obviously, I'll rehearse what I was going to say. I would picture how the surroundings look. So when I go to do it, I've already got the mental movie to plug and play. When would you use this? You would use this for the hardest tasks. If it's the gym, you're going to visualize yourself going into the gym, saying hello to the cute receptionist, be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, good. Going into the gym, fist bumping one geezer, doing the session. You beat the what you did last time on the main exercise that you've been really excited about. You logged all your workouts, you left feeling good. You just visualize that. And it may sound like wishy-washy, but try it and watch how good it is. Because when your brain has seen something, it likes to do what it knows. It likes to go back to comfort. And a weird analogy, but like, let's say you go to a new city. You know that there is loads of barbers. You go to a barber and he's pretty decent. You know him, you know where the shop is, you know where to park, you know how much it's going to cost. You can time frame it up. But there's this other barber you've heard is like really, really good. In a weird way, unless he's like 2 times better than the one you're going to now, you'll stick with the first one because it's comfy and it's what you know. Just like if you go to a new like holiday destination, but the last place you stayed in was really, really good, you don't always want to risk the good for the great. Human beings are like that. You should. You fucking should risk the good for the great on most period of times. But going back to the point, your brain likes to do things it has already done before. The roadmap is already there. And we're going to leverage that to our own advantage. So it works in the immediate term, and it also works in the long term. So you need to constantly be seeing yourself as this new good version of you. You're not this loser that struggles and watches porn, that pulls his fucking head off day after day, that like stumbles his words when he speaks to girls, that like has mediocre loser friends that talk about mediocre bullshit. You're not this guy that's always broke. You're not this guy that's always like struggling for success. You're not this unlucky guy. You want to kill all that version of you, but unfortunately, people will see themselves as a flavor and a variety of those things, and they will affirm that to themselves. Yeah, this is, see, I'm not lucky. Tire pop, see, I'm just not this lucky guy. This is it. I'm not. And people will fucking complain. And they'll put that negative energy out there into the world day after day. I was on a contract with someone that used to do this all the time. The tax man's a problem. Ex-missus is a problem. Getting this job's a problem. Everything was a motherfucking problem. I had to tell this guy, shut the fuck up. I refuse to have that level of energy in and around. Because it seeps into your brain and just fucking poisons you. But people are doing that to themselves on a day-to-day basis. And it's sad, but it's the reality because we defend our identity. People have the identity of, they won't admit the word victim because that sounds harsh, it sounds cruel, but that's essentially what it is. They will affirm to themselves, I'm this guy, I need to then put this energy out because I'm this guy. And this is just the way it's happened to me, but like, it doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to me. You can change that in an instance. The only thing you can really control is what goes on up here, so you may as well fucking do it for the better. You may as well see yourself as some fucking, like, absolute god. You may be like, I am the motherfucking luckiest person alive. And weirdly enough, I was going back to the UK in September last year. And I said to the guy that I was traveling with, I was like, watch this. I'm lucky. So my passport always works when I get scanned through. You know, these like new passport things. Instead of showing it to a human, you put it into a machine, it spits it out. Sometimes it don't work. Sometimes it does. I'm like, always works for me. Boom, straight through. Cool, nice. The next time, I picked my dad up and I was like, we're going to go for food. We'll go to this place. Oh, yeah, I really want to go to this place. No problem. We rang him up. Oh, we're a bit busy. We haven't really got full tables, but you could swing by and we might have a table. I'm like, watch this. Driving there, we drive there. I'm like, watch this, Dad. I was like, I bet there's a fucking decent table waiting for us because I'm a lucky person. Walk through the door. They're like, we don't think so, but let me go and check. Oh, would you look at that? Yep, this booth is free. I'm like, romance there. I'm laughing to my dad. It's a joke. It's a joke, obviously. Like, I can't actually control these things, and whether I am or not lucky is the most subjective point in the world. But the fact of the matter is, because I tell myself I am, I just act accordingly, and that's the value in it. It's not the outcome of the luck. It's that the energy you put into the world is of such higher frequency that even if it wasn't there, it wouldn't matter. If we had to go somewhere else, it wouldn't fucking matter. If I didn't get to put my passport through and had to go speak to the human, it doesn't matter. It really, either way, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm not attached to the outcome. I just say it because it's a funny thing and it makes like life just be that little bit more enjoyable. But likewise, you want to look in the mirror and be like, I'm going to be fucking successful. I am a fucking giga chad of all chads. I lay fucking pipe. I don't pull the head off it because I'm this type of person. And you just need to act like that accordingly. Now, it's easy to think, as I'm saying this in this video, you're probably thinking, yeah, I can do this. Let's fucking go. That motivation will fade. So it's the fact that you do the initial disciplined habits that will allow you to keep making progress day after day. So you need to supplement the two. You've got the tangible data that you're going to tick off day after day after day. But you've also got the fact that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you need to be bigging yourself up. You need to be thinking, I am the fucking giga chad of all giga chads in the fucking world. And you have to like live and believe it. And it's not about being arrogant, and it's not about being like, I'm a billionaire even though I've got like $1 in my bank. It's not about that. Don't be like retarded about it, but do be like thinking of yourself 1 or 2 steps up. Because if you keep thinking about being 1 or 2 steps up, you will eventually get there. Like, Because just like imagine you're around 5 people, and you've heard this before, like if you're around 5 people and they're all successful, you'll end up getting to their level because you'll just keep thinking about it until you're level with them. You always go up to the line of where other people are. Likewise, if they're all lower, you would just settle at the lower line because there's no need in competition beforehand. So the same thing will happen into yourself. Think about yourself 1 or 2 steps up. I'm going to have this position at work. This is 2 steps up from me. I can have it because I'm this type of person. I've got the skills that are needed, and eventually it will come to you. It will. Getting in shape. I am a fucking athlete. I am not someone that's trying to get in shape. I'm not someone that struggles trying to get in shape. I'm just an athlete. I cook my meals at this time. I do gym at this time, steps at this time, cardio at this time, because I am a fucking athlete. And that's it. You just act like accordingly, like an athlete would. And we slowly, over time, you reprogram how your mind thinks and sees things. And then ultimately, you will get into the shape you need to do. Now, why we get results like this, honestly, is because, cool, yeah, I've got a plan. It works. This is a train split. This is diet. This is where we pull calories. I'll do all this for you. Nice. But why this works is because each and every check-in, this is what I'm saying to my people. This is what I'm in their ear saying. I'm like, you are a fucking athlete. Now, a lot of these are serving or ex-military, so I'm like, you are a fucking paratrooper, and which they actually are. So when I affirm and use that to our advantage, they act accordingly. You're a fucking fierce paratrooper. You are a guy in the military. You will act accordingly. So it's quite easy to do this with these type of people, but don't get me wrong. I have clients that really do struggle with their own self-image and self-belief. So every time we do the check-in, it needs to be, we big them up. Remember, this is the man we need to become. It's not about the fucking physique. The physique will follow suit if you act accordingly in order to be the person that deserves this physique, and most of all, it can keep it long term. So that's essentially what we do within the coaching program. I'll plug it now. If you want to book a call and like join it, cool, do so. There'll be links in the description. But other than that, this lecture, honestly, even if it's the only lecture you ever watch on fitness, if you start to do these things, I guarantee you will get in shape. Because you'll fix your mindset, and getting in shape it's honestly not that hard. It's most of the time just a case of like input and output, stress and stimulus on the muscle, good sleep and recovery. You will get in shape. Obviously, we can be efficient and smart about it and do it faster, but like that as its overall principle, you'll get in shape. But you'll never get in shape if you can't fix what's going on upstairs. So I hope you found this video of value, and if you did, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.